Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you this morning. I've got only about a half hour here. I have a no show, but we have others we've got in here. So I'm going to try to catch up with some of the questions from this week, and still going over this pile. I'll try to come in tomorrow. I think I'm actually going to go to Busch Gardens just to chill out. Let me see. I just saw this one. This is 305 KADDILAK. These are little, if you can see these little expressions, these little lymph mucolyses or whatever, these little expressions there all over the mucosa, all over the lips. And that also ties in with someone that asked me about chapped lips. Yeah, I mean, this is all lymphatics. And you could have some virals in there, you know, just as a protein gathering. And so, yeah, you got to detoxify these off of your face, sweetheart, here. These are just lymphatic issues. Acids, proteins. Consider a viral like a protein. As much as we know of what a virus is, they're not a single-cell organism. They're proteins. That's why you see involvement with proteins in an acidic medium. And that's what's going on here. But you have to detoxify. Is that a algum filling in there? It might be there. You might want to get that out of there. Yeah, this is all lymph. The same with chapped lips. You know, anything that dries you out is acidic. Anything that causes pustules or little mucus balls, if you will, or mucosic balls, if you will. All of that stuff is just all lymphatics. And you really got to drain. Now, remember this, the GI tract, always with head issues are involved, always. Even in the iris work, you can see where if you have sulfur buildup in the GI tract wall, if you've had it for years, it'll start pulling, the body will try to pull it to the lymph nodes. Even in the GI tract wall, when you think, excuse me, that the body can just purge that lymph right out that bowel wall, you see it taking it to the lymph nodes first. And I think the importance of that is the level of acids and the damage that can cause to the mucosa itself. So I think really with that essential move to be bathed in the lipid fluid of the lymph and carried to the lymph nodes to be broken down and catabolized, if you will, or brought to a base side, or at least not to a base side, but at least close to a base side. Remember, most cellular acids are about 3 pH, and that. But can you see this clearly? I'm not sure where you see this on the lips. Common, and you can have them, you know, in other places too. Now, this is Miss Fairy Bloom. Hi, sweetheart. How are you? I got your book. That is good. She's certified through the National Acupuncture Detoxification Association. Wow, that's interesting. And in hypnosis, the nutritional botanical part. Yeah, that's just what you want. I don't offer anything online. I've just had a simple practice for years. I've tried to educate with my school as much as I could afford to. This has all been affordability through the years. When you start in your basic laundry room and garage, in fact, I have a picture, I guess Brenda's got it, of some of those earlier years where we were pumping on the stove and, had a laundry room converted to a big, we had a detached laundry room, probably as big as my office, and we turned that in, bigger actually, and we turned that into a room, the garage into a room. So it's been a lot. But so I don't offer anything like that as much. I figure you guys will pick up the slack and do it. Let me see here. I want to go full force with the raw and high fruit diet. It is detox symptoms. Like, you got a lot of detox symptoms, sweetheart. The hair is thinning and more rough. Eyeballs in front of face are burning dry and itchy. I have hemorrhoids and colon never feels that empty. Well, you might want to slow up a little bit, or you definitely want to get with the herbs on this. If you're not with the herbs, you'll see the big difference in all these different healing crises. I think I've got it down fairly good with detox to where we, when you use the herbs, don't have so much of this, but you could even with the herbs. I mean, the body can take off and radically purge itself. Looking at your eyes, seeing where you are lymphatically is going to be a big help for you, because if you're really lymphatic up, you can expect all kinds of issues coming. I mean, it just, these are all areas of weakness that you have. It's obvious. You have multiple sites that you have problems with, and your body's cleaning them up and fixing them. That's when you're way up. We just had that conversation I did with Shannon before we started this, and yesterday I had it with a gentleman, the nature of radical detox and how fast and and all that. And I think on the last video we talked about hair loss, nail loss, things like this. If you push it too hard, some of the bodybuilders we have in here with the RAs, they don't want to lose all their muscles, and it's like, okay, but we've got to then go a lot slower, and we have to add a lot of vegetables and vegetable juices in there to kind of slow things up. How interesting is it that we have to add vegetables to slow up detox? So just to show you, the power of vegetables are very limited in detoxification, and that we can use them to actually stop detoxification. Cooked vegetables I always use to stop detoxification with. And so it just kind of shows you that when you look at that. But gosh, you're really detoxing, Miss Fairy Bloom. My God. I mean, I'm going to read all this because it's everything from private parts to psoriasis and everything else. But, geez, you might want to slow up a little bit or kick it up to the next notch. You got two choices. You can slow up a detoxification process if it's too aggressive, again, by eating more vegetables or having some cooked vegetables. Or you kick it up another notch and you do a fruit fast or something like that. And or if you're not on the herbs, you definitely want to get on the herbs with all these type of symptoms and start really getting into the GI tract. Someone was asking here about what 4 or 5 herbs they could take, and I've covered this quite a bit, but always remember that go after the GI tract, not with laxatives, but with restoratives. Like, look at our bowel formulas and see what we have in them, and you see kind of what a restorative is, because you want some drawing power, you want some anti-inflammatory power, you want some healing power, so you want a broad range power there. And the problem again is you have all levels of people tied into emotional problems, tied into the adrenal weaknesses and the levels that they offer, which reflects into the levels of autonomic nerve weaknesses. So you got all these weaknesses that are impacting your ability to move your bowels. So even though I came out with 5 different formulas to move bowels, some people fit in between them. And so, like, we're giving 1 number 2 and 2 number 1s. Some people are like on 1 number 3 and 2 number 2. So sometimes we have to play like that to find where I'm not in you. You don't want to know these herbs are in you working. Really. A good bowel formula, a restorative formula, you're not going to get bloating from it. You're not going to gas from it. You don't want excessive diarrhea with it. Too high, you could chunk your stools up. You want to find a very soothing, smooth, easy movement type of level for yourself. Hard out there because most herbalists make laxatives. So these restoratives are so much better, in my opinion. And then you can use lymphatic 1 capsules. I really feel that's real important, and there's so much sulfur in the gut, so many diverticulums and pockets and things like this. So, and it's a more aggressive pull, a reach into the wall and grabbing that interstitial congestion. That's what I liked about the Lymph Node 2 capsules and the lymphatic 1 capsules. Then, of course, you always want kidneys. You got to do something with the kidneys. So either kidney number 1 liquid and kidney number 1 capsules, or you can do kidney number 1 and kidney number 2. Play with that until you see sediment. and keep working with that. The adrenals. Always got to do the endocrine glands, whether you're doing the endocrine gland formula, just the adrenal formula, whatever you're working with. Knowing the adrenals are a major factor in what man's suffering with. I doubt seriously around the world today that there's anyone that doesn't have some degree of adrenal weaknesses, and my guess is probably 75% of the population have chronic adrenals. That's going to be my guess on that. Just looking around from what I see worldwide and what we've come up with, depending where you live, More tropical zones, one doesn't have that sort of thing so much. But Prairie Bloom, I'm with you, honey. Gosh, slow it down or speed it up. One of the two, my guess is. So, man, you're kicking butt. That's all I got to say. Poor thing. You got all kinds of things going on with you. But hang in there. Either stop it, slow it down with the cooked vegetables, or speed it up. And if you're not on herbs, get on those. This is Angela from Maryland. Thanks for reading this. I'm a music teacher and a wannabe vocalist. Oh, quit it. You didn't need to be on American Idol right now. What are you doing writing? You should be on American Idol right now, going to win that, right? Sometimes the lemon, boy, I would, at the beginning you see all these contestants and they're excited, but then they go to Hollywood and now they have the group and it's like, it's ripping them. And these people are fainting right and left. You can really see the weak adrenal glands. Of course, we know creative people are very adrenals. So you see them fainting right and left, don't you, if you're watching American Idol. And I'm a creative person. I love creative shows. And boy, I tell you, these girls are passing out right now. But you see the darkness in the eyes. See that one lady? She's, I think she's black, but she is her voice is unbelievable. And what was dog goes, that one is good. But then she fainted all the time, poor thing. And you see the darkness in her eyes and everything. And they sent her home. And I know they had to, but I felt sorry for her, poor thing. And if you were there and you were giving them superfood blends and you were pumping those kids up, my God, they wouldn't be falling down like that so much. So, beautiful soul. Let's see, sometimes a lemon seems like it's drying out. Yeah, a lemon might be a little too astringent for you, so go to the grapes or something like this, sweetheart. We do have a Singer's Grace tea. We don't make that anymore, but I don't know why. I don't know what happened, but we can sure get it back. We were having a Singer's Grace tea, a tea for the voice, because we have a lot of singers. And so you can ask Jennifer about that if you want to. Tell her we want it back. But yeah, it's a great tea. We've had a lot of famous singers out there performing and using the tea before. They just really belted out. So yeah, that's really good stuff. Singer's tea, Singer's Grace tea. I've done lemon and water for. I'd move to grapes. I definitely, sweetheart, would really, get off too strong of an astringent there.